How y'all doing, everybody? Welcome again to another take on K-Rob's Boxing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really need that. When I give y'all, a taste of, my knowledge in boxing. I made a video earlier, but, I just touched down back in Cleveland to my mama's house, to be with my family for the holidays. One thing that I want to talk about, though, again, these fights that are being made is like cherry picks. It's nonsense. Not saying it will be a good scrap because he's ranked in the top 10, but Gervonta Davis versus Keyshawn Davis. Here, Keyshawn Davis is calling him out. Right now, I think that's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea because you know what I'm going to say already. Experience that comes into play. Don't get me wrong, Keyshawn Davis is a 2020 Olympic silver medalist, very decorated amateur. He's 12 fights in, though. Can't do that with a puncher, boxer puncher, and one of the hardest punchers in the world right now, and in Gervonta Davis. I think it's a little too soon. Though I think it'll be a good scrap. It'll be a very good scrap. Don't get me wrong. Keyshawn Davis, in his last fight in July, I want to say against Miguel Mudino or whatever, he did a hell of a good job against that power puncher. It's very, very, very rare. And it's very risky that a promoter will put somebody in there early in their career with a power puncher like that because you don't know how that prospect chin is going to hold up. But he composed himself very well, especially with the punches that were being landed on Keyshawn Davis. And with that being said, I'm saying that they need to go back into the gym, Bomac, which is his trainer. They need to go back and work on his defense and stuff like that. I think another year or two or something like that before they even talk about getting to the ring with Gervonta Davis. I understand he has a title shot lined up for him next. He's a WBO mandatory. I think he's going to win that fight. But against somebody like Gervonta Davis, that's just like a whole nother level. That's like an A+ fighter right there. Keyshawn Davis right now, I want to say B, maybe B+. Last fight against, Miguel Mudino. I'm sorry, I forgot his name wrong. He landed a lot of punches. 194 out of 398 at 49% connect rate. It's damn good, damn good. So his accuracy is there, and he's going to test Gervonta Davis, and he has something that Shakur Stevenson doesn't have. I'm talking about Keyshawn Davis, and that's power and that's pop. But he has to work on his defense, though, because Miguel did land some punches on there and did last the full 12 rounds. I think it was 12 rounds, don't get me wrong. But I know that Miguel landed 63 out of 446 punches, if I'm not mistaken. 14%, connect rate or whatever. And that was good. His defense was good. But you're going to need a little bit more defense like that because 63 punches can't be landed on you like that coming from a puncher like Gervonta Davis. So let that fight bake a little bit. I love Keyshawn Davis. He has all the tools in the world to become the next champion, to become the lineal lightweight champion and move up to 140 and maybe 147. I think he can do it. But right now, I just don't think that they should do that fight. Even though Bob Arum is one of those fighters, and that's love him or hate Bob Arum, he's gonna put his fighters in there. If his fighter says that they want to fight the best in the world, he's gonna put them in there. He's not like these other promoters, and I'm not gonna say any names that try to save their fighters and stuff like that, and cherry pick and try to protect their Bob Arum is known for putting his fighters out there. So, but I'm just saying, and if I was in Keyshawn Davis's corner and his management, his trainer and stuff like that, I would get in his ear and let's just take a few more fights. Gervonta Davis was on a whole nother level in his last fight, and yes, I did say in my last segment, my last video that I made, that Gervonta Davis does act like a 30-0 prospect, but he will beat Keyshawn Davis. And I'm a big fan of Keyshawn Davis, and I want to see him prosper. I want to see him undefeated. I want to see him make millions. So that would be ridiculous right now into making that fight. You take a loss right now, and as hard as Gervonta punches, not saying that he's going to knock Keyshawn Davis out, but it can happen. And his 93% KO ratio can prove that he can knock this man out. So, with that being said, a few more fights, man. And shit, if I'm not mistaken, Keyshawn Davis got some unfinished business to do with Andy Cruz. That should be the man that he's trying to fight. Even though I know that Gervonta Davis is the man of the weight class. He's one of the highest paid fighters in the world right now, highest grossing. He sells out arenas and stuff like that. But I think by the time that I don't know. I think by the time that fight happens, if there is this talk with Keyshawn Davis and Gervonta Davis happening, Gervonta Davis might be moving up in weight or be moving on to something else even greater. He got Andy Cruz in his way. Andy Cruz beat him 3 times in the amateurs. Why don't you try to settle that score? Settle that score. Andy Cruz is 4-0, I believe, 5-0, 1 KO, and he had your number in the amateurs. Let's see if he can do that in the pros. Again, I love Keyshawn Davis' confidence. I love everything about that man. He impressed me a lot. I became an even bigger fan than when he fought Miguel Moreno Maduno, or whatever his name is. I apologize for saying his name wrong. But I was very impressed how he held his composure fighting a big power puncher like that. And the 63 punches that Miguel landed on Keyshawn, he took those very well. So, that being said, I'm not upset if that fight happens. But on the other hand, I will be worried, though, because you don't want to mess up a man's career like that, especially against a puncher like Gervonta Davis. We don't know what Frank Martin's going to look like in his next fight. And he took a very vicious, I ain't going to say a beating through the whole fight, but it just goes to show you that Gervonta Davis can end up punching one fight. And Bomac and his team and Keyshawn Davis' team need to go back to the drawing board and work on some things. Because you're going to have to bring your A game when you're in there with a killer like Gervonta Davis. Once he smells blood and he's going to try to finish you off. He's one of the best finishers in the game. He has that killer instinct. And I want to see that for Keyshawn right now. I love him. I love him to death. I love him. I love Shakur. And that'll be a better matchup for Davis right now. Gervonta that I'm speaking of. Davis, Shakur Stevenson. So that's about it. Depending on what happens in the world, what boxing news we have, I may make another fight, another video tomorrow in the next few days or whatever. Like I said, I'm on vacation right now with my family. I have a lot of time to do this. And like I said, production and stuff will be better next year come. I just need more subscribers. I need more likes. Like I said, if you have any disagreements with what I said in the comments, go ahead, feel free. I'm here to debate. This is what I love to do. I love to talk boxing. I'm trying to get paid to do what I love. And I'm trying to give you guys the gift of gab and knowledge that I have. So again, you guys have a good night. I'm out. I'm signing out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. You all have a beautiful night.